Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Randall. This is the McClures. We react, review, we make fun of, we laugh at stuff over here. Links in the description if you want to support the channel. We're going to be checking out a Forbes clip today. Andy Biggs claims billions in COVID-19 funding went to foreign crime syndicates. Wow. Okay, so billions in COVID-19 funding went to foreign crime syndicates. Let's see what Andy Biggs is talking about on this one. That is interesting stuff.
Mr. Biggs.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I thank the witnesses for being here. The federal government spent $5 trillion plus in relief programs in response to COVID-19. And estimates vary widely, but testimony from experts before this committee last year suggested that waste, fraud, and abuse in the COVID-19 unemployment program alone exceeded $400 billion. At least half of which went to organized foreign crime syndicates. So I've got a bunch of questions for each of you. I'm not going to be able to get to all of them, but I'm going to...
Okay, so just the COVID relief that went to the unemployment side of it, they got scammed out of $400 billion, and $200 billion was organized from outside the country?
I'm going to start with Mr. Delmer. I'll try to get back to you, Mr. Turner, so you're off the hook for the beginning. But Mr. Delmer, the Treasury Department is responsible for managing coronavirus relief funds, state and local fiscal recovery funds, as well as several other funds. Can you provide the committee with the total amount of funding that remains unspent across accounts at Treasury?
Yes, I can. We can actually give you a specific written summary.
When might we expect that?
I can get that to you next week, sir.
That would be beautiful. Thank you, Mr. Delmar. And that would include on what state agencies as well? Would that include what amount of money remains unspent in state agencies? Do you have that information?
I don't know. I will find out and I will get back to you.
Okay. Does your office have on hand, and you'll need to get back to me, I'm sure, on this too, state-by-state numbers for unspent funding, both obligated and unobligated in programs that are unexpired or otherwise expired?
I believe we have them for overall, and I'm sure we could probably find them on a state-by-state basis.
Okay. If you could please provide what information you have to the committee by next week, that'd be great. Mr. Turner, during testimony delivered to this committee last year, we were informed that the California State Auditor reported that the state's Unemployment Development Department was slow to take action to address unemployment insurance fraud. In total, California alone lost in excess of $10 billion to fraudulent claims. And you've mentioned some of those. Can you identify for us some of the failures of the California Department?
Well, let me just say, it was just not California. We found that some of those problems that California experienced was experienced throughout the country. And so I hear what you're saying, but it was really through our reviews.
Could the gentleman answer the question
Yes.
specifically as it relates to California, please?
And if you want to generalize, I'm okay if you just say they all had self-identification, which was a problem. Whatever. Is that, are we getting back to that?
Yeah, it was self-certification, and also there was stolen identity, stolen Social Security numbers.
So you had ID theft as well?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
In what ways does the Department of Labor track state workforce agencies that slow-walked correction of fraud and UI program?
State that again, please. I'm sorry.
Yeah. In what ways does the Department of Labor track state workforce agencies that slow-walked correctives of fraud in the UI programs?
Basically, through our reviews and audits, we're able to take a look at are they meeting the standards. I think the standard is to issue those payments out between 14 and 21 days, and the average was 1 to 2 months.
Thank you. Mr. Shoemaker, with regard to SBA, a year ago, this is a year ago, there was estimates that there was $76 billion in potential fraud in the SBA program. The SBA itself estimated $78 billion. Secret Service estimated $100 billion, and in improper payments. What is that number finally that you SBA holds to now in improper payments?
Thank you for the question. The number you're referring to was $78 billion in the EIDL program. That was a result of work from our office, and that was a collection of our reports that we removed the duplicates so that we had a number that was 78 billion. That number is at 86 billion, from ensuing work. That does not include the PPP program. Our work in that area has uncovered at least probably another $20 billion on potential fraud in the PPP program, but we have an ongoing project right now to come up with a comprehensive estimate of the fraud within the PPP and the EIDL program. So currently, what I could tell you, it will be more than 100 billion.
Thank you. And then I just want to get back to you, Mr. Turner. I want to make sure I understand what the estimate of the fraud that your agency has uncovered, the IG's office has uncovered in the.
These numbers that they use are basically just ridiculous. I mean, $100 billion? And they're like, whatever. I mean, we might get to it. We might find the fraud. We might not. That was definitely one mistake that I didn't do during COVID. I'm not really a fan of filling out government applications for handouts. So I didn't apply for any PPP loans for my business. But I definitely should have. Looking back at it, I think I probably could have got $50,000 to $100,000 easy that I wouldn't have had to pay back. So I definitely should have done it. That's definitely my mistake, but I'm not a fan of walking around with your hand out.
The unemployment arena.
We're looking at $76 billion, and that's based on the fraud rate that the department produced at 8.5 of $888 billion. So 76 billion is what we believe that's on the low end for the fact that PUA was not included in that number. The department will have the PUA number issued sometime this year is what they've told us.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate all of you being here. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll yield.
Mr. Turner, I'd like to.
Well, that wasn't as insightful as I thought it was going to be, that's for sure. But just think, they spent $5 trillion. That's crazy. These numbers are absolutely just ridiculous. It's like clown numbers. Don't even make any sense. $5 trillion. Shit's crazy. Absolutely crazy.